Before we begin our journey tonight, a brief note. This episode of Sleepy Psychology is brought to you by the SAC Center, a leading telehealth clinic specializing in the testing and treatment of autism and ADHD. The SAC Center proudly serves all 50 states, bringing expert care directly to you wherever you are. To learn more about their comprehensive services and how they can help, please visit saccenter.com. Now let us gently ease into this quiet space, allowing our minds to unfurl like soft petals in the evening air. Find your most comfortable position, letting the gentle embrace of your bed or chair support you fully. Feel the weight of the day lifting, carried away on the soft current of your breath. Tonight, we will journey across the vast expanse of the Atlantic, to a place where ancient myths meet modern marvels, a place called Shag Harbor in Nova Scotia, Canada. It was a chilly October evening, specifically October 4, 1967. The air carried the crisp scent of the ocean, and the small fishing village of Shag Harbor was settling into its evening rhythm. The moon, perhaps a sliver, cast a faint glow upon the dark waters. The quiet hum of the night was only occasionally broken by the gentle lapping of waves against the shore or the distant call of a seabird. This peaceful scene was about to be profoundly interrupted. Several witnesses, mostly teenagers, were driving along Highway 3, a coastal road offering views of the harbor. Their conversation was light, typical of an evening drive with friends. As they rounded a bend, their eyes were drawn to something extraordinary in the sky. Not a star, not an airplane, but a series of 4 bright lights, arranged in a line, moving with a speed and trajectory unlike anything they had ever seen. These lights, glowing with an unusual orange hue, seemed to pulse, almost as if breathing. They were distinct, not blurry or shimmering due to atmospheric conditions, but clear, focused points of intense light. The way they maintained their formation as they moved, without any apparent deviation, added to their unsettling nature. Their initial thought might have been a small aircraft, perhaps in distress, but the way the lights moved in unison without the characteristic sounds of an engine, quickly disproved that notion. There was no whine of turbines, no roar of propellers, just an eerie, profound silence accompanying their descent. As they watched, captivated, the lights began to descend, slowly, deliberately towards the cold, dark waters of the harbor. There was no fiery crash, no explosive impact, just a silent, gentle descent, as if the object was intentionally lowering itself into the sea, rather than falling out of the sky. It seemed to lose altitude at a controlled, measured pace, a detail that struck the witnesses as particularly strange. As the object settled upon the water, the witnesses described a low, muffled whoosh sound, almost like a sigh but nothing violent. This was not the sound of something breaking apart, but rather of something displacing a great volume of water. Immediately following this, a strange yellowish foam began to appear on the surface of the water around where the lights had vanished. It spread outwards, creating an eerie, phosphorescent glow in the dark harbor. This foam was unlike any they had seen from an oil spill or natural phenomena. It had an almost ethereal quality, illuminating the immediate area with its unsettling light. This was no ordinary maritime event. The distinct smell accompanying the foam was also noted, described as being somewhat sulfurous or metallic, adding to the strangeness of the scene. Alarmed and bewildered, the teenagers immediately reported what they had seen to the local Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP. Constable Ron O'Brien was the first officer on the scene. He arrived to find the witnesses visibly shaken, pointing out into the dark harbor where the strange lights had disappeared and the unusual foam now spread. He could clearly see the peculiar yellowish foam, which emitted a strange, almost metallic odor. The sight was undeniably unusual, compelling him to call for reinforcements and notify the Coast Guard without hesitation. He also noted that the foam was not dissipating quickly, but rather seemed to persist on the surface, resisting the gentle currents of the harbor. Soon, fishing boats from the area, along with a Coast Guard cutter, were dispatched to the site. Their powerful searchlights cut through the darkness, illuminating the strange, glowing foam. The air was thick with anticipation, a blend of confusion and a quiet sense of awe. Divers were prepared, their equipment laid out, ready to plunge into the frigid depths. The immediate assumption was that an aircraft had crashed, and they were looking for survivors or wreckage. The initial reports suggested something large, perhaps even military, given the unusual nature of the lights and their controlled descent. However, as the search intensified, no debris typical of an aircraft crash was found. There were no oil slicks, no pieces of fuselage, no telltale signs of a conventional disaster. The object, whatever it was, seemed to have simply submerged. The peculiar foam, however, remained stubbornly clinging to the surface, and its strange glow persisted throughout the night, defying the natural laws of decomposition or dissipation one would expect from ordinary substances. The temperature of the water around the foam was also noted as being slightly warmer than the surrounding areas, a subtle but persistent anomaly. The next day the search continued with renewed vigor. The Royal Canadian Navy was called in, deploying divers and specialized equipment from the nearby naval base in Halifax. They meticulously scoured the ocean floor in the area where the object was last seen. The water was deep, reaching depths of up to 100 feet in some places, and visibility was challenging due to the dark, silted bottom, but the divers persevered, methodically searching for any sign of the mysterious craft. 4 days they continued their operations, their efforts unyielding, battling the cold and the murk. The search area was extensive, spanning several square miles, meticulously divided into grids for systematic investigation. What they found, or rather what they didn't find, was as perplexing as the initial sighting. There was no wreckage, no impact crater on the seabed, no large pieces of machinery. What they did report, however, were observations of a large, circular area on the seabed where something heavy seemed to have rested, disturbing the sediment. This area was roughly 50 feet in diameter, suggesting an object of considerable size. Some divers also reported seeing strange, reflective objects moving rapidly beneath the water, too fast and too agile to be any known submarine or marine life. These glimpses were fleeting, almost ghost-like, adding another layer to the enigma. One diver reported seeing what looked like a large, dark, metallic object, perhaps as long as a school bus, moving slowly and deliberately along the seabed before disappearing into the deeper waters beyond the search perimeter. These reports, though unconfirmed by direct recovery, were compelling enough to be included in the official debriefings. The official explanation eventually settled on the phrase, unidentified flying object, that had crashed into the sea. This was an unusual admission for the time, indicating that authorities were genuinely unable to provide a conventional explanation. It was a significant departure from typical government statements regarding unexplained phenomena. The incident was thoroughly investigated by various Canadian governmental agencies, including the Department of National Defence, but no definitive conclusion was ever reached regarding the origin or nature of the object. The official files, later declassified, revealed extensive internal discussions and analyses, all of which pointed to an unidentifiable object of unknown origin. The case was eventually closed as unexplained. Whispers and theories began to circulate throughout the community. Some believed it was a Soviet spy plane, others an experimental American craft. But the unusual behavior of the object, its silent descent, the lack of wreckage, and the peculiar foam, all pointed to something far beyond conventional technology. The persistent rumors of unidentified underwater objects, or USOs, seen by the divers, only deepened the mystery, suggesting that whatever had entered the water was not simply a downed aircraft, but something capable of independent underwater maneuverability. The possibility that the object had merely paused in the harbor before continuing its journey beneath the waves was a haunting thought for many. Over the years, the Shag Harbor incident has remained a captivating subject for researchers and enthusiasts alike. It stands out due to the sheer number of credible witnesses, including police officers and military personnel, and the official nature of the subsequent investigation. The meticulous search efforts, documented by the Canadian government, lend significant weight to the claims made by those who witnessed the event. It is often cited as one of the most well-documented UFO incidents, remarkable for its clear testimony and the lack of a mundane explanation. The memory of that night became woven into the fabric of the Shag Harbor community. It's a story passed down through generations, a quiet reminder that the ordinary can at any moment give way to the truly extraordinary. It serves as a gentle nudge, prompting us to consider that our world, and indeed the vast universe beyond, may hold wonders and phenomena that are yet to be fully understood, quietly moving in the shadows, sometimes even dipping into our oceans. The Shag Harbor incident, with its silent descent and lingering mystery, leaves us with a sense of wonder, a subtle question mark hanging in the cool maritime air. It reminds us that even in our most technologically advanced age, there are still corners of reality that remain wonderfully, peacefully, and utterly unexplained. As the echoes of this tale gently fade, allow your body to surrender to the comforting stillness of this moment. There is nothing left to grasp, no more thoughts to pursue. Just the peaceful expanse of your own being. Now let us gently guide your awareness to your breath, that soft, steady rhythm that anchors you to this very moment. Feel the cool air as it enters your nostrils, and the warm air as it gently leaves. Don't try to change your breath, just observe its natural flow, like a gentle tide ebbing and flowing. Imagine, if you will, a soft, warm glow beginning to emanate from the very center of your chest, right around your heart. This glow is a feeling of deep peace, a sense of quiet contentment. As you breathe in, imagine this glow expanding, filling your chest, a soft, radiant warmth. And as you breathe out, feel any lingering tension or discomfort gently melting away, like snow under a warm sun. Allow this peaceful glow to spread slowly, deliberately, downwards through your torso. Feel it dissolving any tightness in your stomach, your lower back, your hips. Imagine every muscle, every fiber in this area softening, releasing, becoming wonderfully relaxed. Let the warmth flow into your thighs, down through your knees, into your calves, and finally into your feet. Feel your feet becoming heavy and grounded, completely at ease. Now let this peaceful glow travel upwards from your chest into your shoulders. Feel your shoulders gently dropping, releasing any weight they might be carrying. Allow this warmth to flow down your arms, through your elbows, forearms, wrists, and into your hands. Feel your fingers softly uncurl, becoming light and free. Finally, let the peaceful glow ascend into your neck, releasing any stiffness or tension. Feel it gently soothe the muscles around your jaw, your temples, your eyes. Imagine your forehead becoming smooth and uncreased, your scalp completely relaxed. The warmth now encompasses your entire head, bringing a sense of profound calm to your mind. You are now completely immersed in this gentle, peaceful glow. From the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, every part of you is relaxed, at ease, and profoundly still. Rest in this space, suspended between wakefulness and slumber, allowing the quiet rhythm of your breath to carry you deeper into tranquility. There is nothing to do, nothing to think, simply to be. Allow yourself to drift, to float, to surrender to the sweet embrace of sleep. You are safe, you are warm, and you are deeply at peace. Good night.